Hello, my name is Frédéric Samvoura, and I'm here to present to you the application Ekival. Ekival, which is a money transfer application powered by the Cardano network, and it's fundamentally a value transfer application. And the difference between money and value, maybe that's for another video, but basically we can use this app to send money. And I'm going to go through the presentation. The letter of Ekival means equality, égalité, and the idea is to transfer funds of equal values. So what is Ekival? Ekival is used to reduce the fees paid by people who remit money, let's say in Africa. Globally, remittances are around 15 billion. The market is expected to grow as more people travel, more people leave their home countries, and in intra-Africa regions, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, transfer fees could account to up to 15% of the transfer value. And this is without even accounting the cost to move. You have to take a motorcycle to go to the transfer agent, and also the cost of conversions. You may send money in euros and people in Africa receive it in US, so the conversion rate itself adds fees, which most users do not notice, but that could account to up to another 2 or 3% of the fee. And also the remittances study give an average of $2,885 that are sent every year. Of the 2,855, those fees with the 8% rate on average is around $228. So this is on an annual basis. If you have to take care of people or family of loved ones in Africa, for example, and they have to pay $228 every year just to send money, that is around like 10% of your value over time, right? It's really a very expensive fee. And again, we do not account for conversion fees. And the remittances do not involve sending funds in most cases. The transfer agencies do not always send funds from where you are sending them from to where you are sending it. Usually they have agents, and at the end of the day they balance their sheets. They say, I owe you how much, and instead of sending 2,000, maybe they're just sending 200, or even waiting for the other person to use the 200, and the books are balanced. On average, yes, there are networks that are not balanced. For example, money comes from rich nations to poorer nations, but also there is a study was made, for example, in the case of Africa, that could be more money coming out of Africa than actually going into Africa. So that is also something we may have to test. And all of this is due to incomplete information. Incomplete information means people basically are two users, they have the same need, but they don't know how to fulfill it together. The blockchain allows us, because everything is public, so that it allows information to flow freely. And if I need money to send to Congo and you have money to send to Canada, we can balance it out ourselves. We do not need an intermediary for that. If you are paying your school fees for your child and I'm paying school fees for my cousin in Congo, well, it's this equivalent money, so the $200 from here to there, we do not need an agent to make us pay $20 each and $40 in total just for the sake of information. So this Ekival is a solution in the sense that it's implementing a peer-to-peer system, and it allows users to exchange funds, goods, and services of equivalent value without the need of intermediaries such as those of periodic settlements among intermediaries who are in the traditional money transfer business. Using the blockchain, we can also leverage its speed, its security. Blockchain allows for fast and secure transactions. The Cardano blockchain itself was chosen because it's both secure, and also it is allowing for future development that's very interesting, especially for Africa. I can cover the topic, but it's, for example, the case of the web office structure, which allows users in Africa or other places to pay using currencies of their own, and fundamentally they'll be paying back in ADA, but they may not incur the loss in terms of appreciation of ADA over time, and they can use ADA for transfer and do some activities in other currencies. So automated settlements, some networks such as Cardano offer smart contracts, and we are using smart contracts to build an escrow service whereby both the provider of liquidity and the consumer of that liquidity, i.e. the person who sends money to somebody. They can use a smart contract to hold those funds, and once the transaction has been confirmed, the validation is done on chain, and then the money is sent to the person who has provided liquidity. That's also a benefit of the Cardano network. Now, overall, here's what we can see from the money transfer application Ekival. On top, you look at it, it's the different screenshot I've taken. I'll go through a demo, how the demo is. We are using the demo on testnet, and we had hoped to include stablecoins. We are still implementing them, so this is mostly using ADA as the payment and on fees and value, and also we use CoinMarketCap API to estimate the rate. Okay, the conversion rate, and this is a window where the user inputs all the information about both the beneficiaries and the people who are going to hand out the liquidity. In terms of smart contract flow, we have, first of all, Ekival is a value-led application. It means there has to be somebody first who gives liquidity. There has to be somebody who is ready to give the money. There has to be somebody who says, I have X amount of cash available, let's say in Congo. He will log in the deposit, which is like 10%. We are still switching between 2 and 10% of the value transfer for deposit for security purposes, so that actors know that they're committing to provide that liquidity, so they need to kind of give some guarantees. And part of that deposit goes back to them anyway. So they also initiated the smart contract. They pay the first transaction fee to initiate the smart contract, and they deposit 10% of the value as a caution, as a guarantee in French. And the user two, the person who wants to give out money, let's say for you in Kinshasa, and there's somebody who said they have $200 in Kinshasa, let's say a supermarket. They do not want to keep cash in the cashier registry, and they want to hand out cash to individuals who come into the supermarket in a safe space for them, and they will say we have so much value in cash to hand out. So user two, let's say you're in Germany and you do want your cousin in Kinshasa to receive 200 cash or by mobile money. What you do, you go to the same smart contract, you commit. You're going to say a place in the application will commit. You commit now the value of $200. The person who promised to give 200 deposited 20. In your case, you deposit $200, which is basically now the smart contracts hold $220. And this is what user 2 wants. He wants value V of equivalence dollars to be given to a beneficiary in city in location A. Themselves, user 2 can be anywhere in the world. They will be using crypto, so they can be in Japan, they can be in Canada, anywhere they want, but they can log in money in the smart contract. Using Ekival, we are implementing mobile application transaction validation. So in Congo, for example, mobile money is very popular, and the same case in many countries in Africa. So mobile money will be used to both validate. Once you have input your contact details in the form I'll show you shortly, we'll be able to know both the person who is supposed to send the money and the person who is supposed to receive. So when those two transactions are confirmed by the mobile transactions, then the smart contract itself frees the equivalent of $200 to $220 to user A, and that is user 1 received the value V in crypto plus the deposit, and Ekival receives some fees. Currently the fees in Ekival is 3 ADA, and we think of setting it as a threshold, a minimum, and a certain percentage, also a maximum, so that it varies over the value of V. So what makes Ekival different from other platforms that send money in a digital manner? So first of all, P2P is not actually implemented in most money transfer applications. They still rely on intermediaries such as banks and other institutions. We do rely on mobile money as well, but we do have a way to use mobile money without relying on a bank fundamentally. The mobile money account can hold funds, can confirm transactions without us receiving funds ourselves. So we can use the API in the mobile money application to confirm that indeed those funds came from number A to number B for the equivalent money and that is a confirmation for us. And we can also get the confirmation number from those two transactions. Secondly is that unlike other forms of money that rely on the blockchain is usually in the background to be used as an accounting mechanism. Basically is to see what is their stock, what is their account. It's more like an accounting tool, whereas Ekival itself is fundamentally both confirming the transaction, getting the funds, sending the funds. They are done on the blockchain. So it's fully decentralized, whereas other applications are somehow centralized. They have a player in the middle. Ekival is not preventing you from depositing or committing or even receiving those funds. Ekival offers escrow services, which allow providers of liquidity, goods and services in the future to be sure that the client has the means to pay. Because if you are selling a car and you use Ekival in the future, for example, the person who wants to come and see your car will have deposited, to reserve it, will have deposited, let's say, 50% of the value of that car if they want to pay it in crypto. So you will know that there is trust, and trust can increase the velocity of the business and increase business. Unlike other digital payment services, Ekival can also integrate a marketplace, which serves as a meeting space between users, buyers, and sellers. And at the same time, we allow them to meet on Ekival, because you'll see different places where you can take the liquidity. In the case of Congo, you can see it in Kinshasa, you can see it in Goma, Bukavu. It's up to you to see whether you want to gift somebody a gift of a surprise and say, okay, I have this liquidity in Goma. I'm thinking about this friend of mine for a long time. Let me just surprise him with a little gift, send him this money, and then I pay. And I do not need to basically, as long as I confirm his phone number, then the money will get to him or to her. So how do we generate revenues? In Ekival, we account for the fees, transaction fees, very minimal. I would say 3 ADA for the current time. Also looking into 1%. So we have a ceiling we cannot cross. It's like 8%, for example, if you compare to traditional money transfer businesses, and also 1% for the sake of keeping servers and some other application running and maintaining the smart contract should the case be. And Ekival may offer in the future, for larger sum of money or for investment venues, a dispute management system, which can itself also offer us some fees. But overall, the meaning of Ekival is to facilitate and reduce the burden of transfer fees. So we are looking into making it as affordable as possible. So what is the target market for Ekival? It's mostly members of the diaspora, members of the diaspora in DRC in particular, like myself and a business owner in DRC. I can provide liquidity in Goma, and someone else, like a friend, a partner, can provide it in Kinshasa, in Bukavu, and we can basically start Ekival. And also we are looking for referrals, like in the diaspora. Referrals are very, very important. People usually know what's the best deal in terms of African food, or for example in the diaspora we also had people who transferred money, and we know which one is the best. Is it Today Western? Is it MoneyGram? Calling cards as well, like which one offers the best rate for the how many minutes per dollars. So in the diaspora the information flies quickly, and WhatsApp has made it so easy. So basically I can have so many groups in which I have almost all Congolese from Ottawa, for example, and indirectly linked to them through the WhatsApp group. And some also community events such as churches, like Ethiopians, they like to go to the Orthodox Church on Sunday. So meeting members of the diaspora in one way or another is quite feasible. It's like easy word of mouth, and meeting places are known, and they happen at certain events like Independence Days, soccer games, and so on and so forth, religious events and other common events. So what's the competitive advantage of Ekival? First of all, we are leveraging the convenience and power of the Cardano blockchain. So first of all, the transaction fees are low, so which means it's not prohibitively expensive to even use the application. That's a plus. And also the minimum value you can send by money transfer. Let's say you want to send $20 in some type of traditional money transfer business, they may not allow you, whereas for the blockchain you can send as low as $2, 2 ADA on the blockchain, and we can still process it as long as you pay the fee. So the guarantee also of users having fully funded the value through the escrow smart contract is also very important. Like for money transfer, it doesn't appear as a very strong advantage. However, for other services such as marketplace, you want somebody to make sure that if you're going to go and meet somebody for business purposes, you have to make sure that the person, for example, has shown some ability to buy. So the escrow services can play that role as well. And it facilitates the conclusions of successful transactions. The team is quite well advanced building. We have already made a presentation among developers on the Cardano blockchain, especially Goma Labs. So we have 2 or 3 people from Goma Labs who will be joining the team. And this is also a way to involve those interested. If you see this video and you feel like you want to help reduce fees of money transfer, or you had the idea of doing it, welcome. We are looking forward to you. But for the moment, we are 6 individuals. Myself, Max, who is from Goma Labs, Didi Baganda, who is a friend of mine, who is a chief financial officer in charge of the business and the financial models. Dan, who is in Kinshasa, he's a developer. He's the one who, with his team, also built the front end you're going to see, and also some WADA technicians. WADA is an African-led incubator within the Cardano ecosystem, I would say, and some of them are learning to program using the Cardano blockchain. And welcome again. Also, I mentioned we are applying for funding in Fund 9. So if we get funding in Fund 9, we will be able to include more people from Goma Labs, such as an individual called Pio, who is developing an application leveraging a mobile framework. So what is the roadmap? The roadmap is today we are already in testnet beta. You will see through the demo where we are, which stage we are, and you can try it yourself. In August 2022, we have submitted a Fund 9 proposal. I'll put the description, the link in the description of the video, and hopefully also some overlay in the bottom of this video. And the Fund 9 proposal is basically to come from not only testnet but to go on mainnet and audit the smart contract, do some translation. You'll see that the UI has some French and English elements. You want to make them switch from one language to the other. Our main target will be French in the first days, but our developers and the people who are going to vote on Catalyst, mostly will be using English. So we thought that we'll develop the application first in English. But the idea of the funding in the 9 proposal is to audit, translate the UI, and do the mobile framework development, because in Africa most people use mobile applications. So we are currently using a desktop application with a browser extension that will not be very popular in Africa. So that's why we are looking for Fund 9 to make it a transition to mobile. And Ekival has never been funded through Catalyst before, so this is me. I'd been bootstrapping the funding, and to this day I knew that should I had applied for funding, I would not have been ready anyway, because I was looking for stable coins, and I was also looking for other applications based on Bluetooth development. So let's say in September 2022, regardless of funding or not, we are going to go on the beta on mainnet. So the mainnet will be using the desktop application plus the extension, the browser extension. And we'll expect to get our first paying customers. So we have the financial modeling done and some incentive to provide liquidity through Ekival. Myself, I'll be traveling to Congo soon to go and discuss with some liquidity providers, such as some owners of supermarkets and mobile money agents in Goma and Kinshasa. So those are very strong in helping Ekival grow in Goma and Kinshasa. And depending here, there is a star given that this could be conditional of funding 9 results. Should we get funded, of course, we are going to be able to implement quickly the mobile framework and also provide an API for liquidity, because Ekival will be showing people where there is cash to consume and or transfer. So an API can help the application become decentralized. So I'm going to make this application decentralized, and you could reserve the funding through Ekival through the API in your own application. So will Ekival issue a token? The answer is yes. There is the Goma Stake Pool, which is hosting this video, and we're looking to make an ISPO. The idea of a token is it allows first to increase fidelity in the diaspora. It's a word of mouth referrals are very strong, so a token allows users who are using the application to be able to gain more token, and this token could be used, for example, to reduce the transfer fees you are paying if you have more, and also limit your deposit requirement. Let's say it was from 10% when you join. When you have collected enough Ekival, you can reach up to 5% deposit because we trust you. Again, word of mouth referrals are very important, but we cannot give out cash. We can give out Ekival as tokens of appreciation and encouragement, and these tokens, given that they allow you to reduce both the amount of transfer fees and referrals, then you could be having an advantage as well. And thirdly, Ekival token will support the development of Ekival in the future. You know that funding is a means, like in Catalyst, we consider this to be like pre-seed funding. It's basically the community to allow the application to be decentralized and be developed. But the Ekival will also help other people to kind of join the ecosystem, and Ekival will serve as a token to basically help also the ownership of members should they want to decide on how Ekival will progress. If we increase the fees, we add a currency, we go into other places beyond Congo and possibly Ghana or somewhere else. So there are many ways to use the token. And the community ownership as well through a token means that the more people are aware of Ekival, and the more they're going to use it. So it supports the growth. And also a token will incorporate very well in the WADA ecosystem, given that we have many hubs of WADA, and those hubs could easily be contact points for Ekival services. So the token allocation, thanks again here, I'll thank the people at, we are being supported by the Ariob Incubator, which is an incubator based in Ethiopia. Through it we get a lot of mentorship, very good mentorship, and this is the result of one of such mentorship, where basically we were asked to prepare some token for bootstrapping, continuing bootstrapping, and handing out motivation to the team which is developing the application. This is not yet discussed, but some investors, once the token has been issued, could be allocated some tokens, and then for development, some tokens could be held for future developments, as well as a contingency fund. And the community, again, through Catalyst funding, should we get Catalyst funding, this portion also, some airdrop may happen, like a certain share of this could go for the Catalyst funding amount, and we'll be able to airdrop. We are seeking $56,000 for the moment, and we hope that you're going to support us. Thank you very much, and this is the middle point of the presentation. And now we can go to the demo. The demo is quite very simple. I will say it's locally, it's running locally. However, this is already online, so you can also try it from here. However, this preview here is not yet fully developed, so it's the same service that we're going to be using, but I'll go with the local implementation first so that you see how it works. So the first stage, what you do is you first connect your wallet. We have 3 wallets that we're working on. So we have NAMI, which is working, CC Vault, which is also working. Jira wallet, we are looking into implementing it, but I have a NAMI wallet extension, so I'll choose NAMI wallet. So as you can see, my NAMI wallet here has been connected, and I can see my balance, and as well as the equivalency in the US dollars. And from it I can pass transactions. Let's say, for example, now we are here and we want to send funds. Let's say I'm a supermarket, I have enough cash in my cashier register, I have 1,000. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say that I have 1,000 in Goma, the equivalency will be that amount. In ADA, for example, I'm going to deposit 10% of it. I'm not ready to hand out $1 each to 1,000 people, so I'm going to say, you know what, if you need to cash out this amount, you need at least to take out 100 as a minimum. This money will be available for 5 days, because after 5 days I'll be going to the bank to deposit the money. I will not keep it in the cash, but within the week you can come and take out this 1,000. And again, the money is, I'm handing it out from Congo, so it's my cash. Mobile, we have not yet integrated the mobile, but there is a sandbox coming with mobile applications. So the beneficiary, let's say my accountant, is the one who is going to give the money out. Accounting at goma.com, and then you can contact them through this number. Okay, so we have the Congolese number, some other amounts. Let's say Congo, Rwanda, and France. We have some liquidity, and we are able to support these numbers now in mobile application, but more will come and join. So once you have done that, you have 1,100 minimum, and you have given out the information of the people who are going to hand out the money. So you can lock in the fund. Again, you know, it's like 10% of the value amount, which is that, plus some fees. So it's a bit higher than 10% of this because of these fees. So you send the transaction. And now you can confirm. So once the confirmation has happened, you can take this hash and go on the blockchain and check your transaction when it's validated. But in this case, I can even as well wait for NAMI to validate. So it was $156 or so. So we wait for NAMI to validate, and from it I'll be able to see it in my orders. But I can already close this. I can close this window, and I can see my orders first. So there is that is being locked, but it's not yet validated, so it was taken away. But let's see, I have some other transactions also that are happening, so it has been sent indeed. So when I do this, my orders, so this is the previous money which are logged in, and once we refresh, the one from Goma should also show up. Let me connect my NAMI wallet. Disconnected. Okay, so let's wait for the transactions to happen. Yes, okay, so this here it is. The locations are being pulled from the blockchain, from the metadata within the blockchain. So we are incorporating also a backend application which will be able to process this. But so far I can go back and see. So yes, so these two are the previous transactions I had logged. This is the one we just sent for 156, and again the cities are being pulled from the blockchain, so we give it a time again for this, and you'll shortly see Toronto, and this one is for sure Goma. So when you look at such offers, once they're logged, you can again go from Paris to Goma again some amounts, and you can commit. You can basically say, I'm going to deposit the 20,000 and log these funds, so that you can basically get them in Kinshasa, in Goma. And you can also search by location, by type, either cash or mobile money, and you can put in your transaction ID if you are the one offering the liquidity. And refresh this so that we see that indeed is the Goma account. Oh, it's the Goma account. The blockchain, sometimes the metadata takes a while to be pulled in. Okay, so you can see that the blockchain locally has already been logged. The speed of transfer will improve on the mainnet because we'll have more faster API. So you have offered both 3 types of liquidity: 1,000 in Goma, 2,000 in Toronto, 2,000 in Toronto, and this is for 5 days, and the countdown will be going down as the day passes, and the amount you locked is 1,562. So let's say after 5 days or sooner, you have an emergency, you cannot handle the 1000 anymore, we will be adding an update. But let's say for the moment we want equivalent money and minimum values, so you want to cancel this transaction because for some reason you have consumed this cash yourself, so you cannot hand it out. So this transaction has to be deleted. So what you do is that you can basically cancel, and while canceling you will be prompted to sign the transaction, where you get again your money back. The deposit in this case, it's not yet cut of the 3 transfer fees because we are still implementing the fees and percentages. You can still cancel it if you have not incurred any commitments. So we are going to be flexible with people who provide liquidity, but in the future, if you commit to provide liquidity, we may cut just a symbolic fee. Okay, you cancel this application, this transaction. And once you confirm, so your transaction has been cancelled, you get a confirmation, say okay, and once you go to your NAMI wallet, you can see what transactions you had. And I forgot to show before is that you also can see the metadata of your transactions. We know it's from Ekival, it's in cash. What is the beneficiary, or what is the person who is handing out the cash, name, phone numbers, and the location as well. This is quite detailed in terms of metadata, but we're going to kind of reduce it so that we only keep like five metadata and for some information. So from NAMI again, you can see that I had deposited 156. ADA is deposit of the 1000 US, and shortly we're going to see 155 being remitted to my wallet once the transaction has been validated on the blockchain. So it's updating, and as you can see just now I received 155 and the transaction has been indeed cancelled. So now I know that I'm not committing to any 1000 cash, and I can restart and submit another transaction. So that is it for the moment, and if you want to disconnect, for example, you can disconnect and connect another wallet. That's it for Ekival. So I'll put the description again for Fund 9 proposal, which is basically to improve this UI to make it French and English, and also allow the smart contract to be audited, as well as implement the equivalent application for mobile. Thank you very much, and also should you have any question, do not hesitate to contact me or anyone else within Ekival. And we also have the Discord. I'll also put the links of the Discord in the description of the video.